Diamante.
Durante with a free header.
And the honour of Western United's first A-League goal goes to a familiar face. Bessa Barisha.
Connor Payne on the left.
Alessandro Diamante, the ball on a string. And
Diamante!
The Western service crew are celebrating.
Oh, I didn't see you there. Welcome back to All Out West. And what another ripping week to be a Western United fan. 2 solid wins in 8 days, victory dropping points to help us keep in second place. And City's like, we're on the hot on the heels of City. How are you guys going? Anyone?
Yeah, I'm good.
I was leaving it for you, Scott.
I was waiting as well, but because I know my internet lags a bit. So,
No, look, I can't complain. No complaints here. You know, nothing to complain about here. Arsenal had a couple of wins, including Chelsea. So, you know, things are going well.
Yeah.
no, there's background noise. It's
Is it your son?
Yeah, he slowly opened the ice cream.
That is the loudest ice cream open I've ever heard. I thought it was my mic because I'm using the condenser today. No.
I wonder where he gets that loud opening from.
Oh, dude, he's probably got your loud breathing, Kelsey.
Oh my!
Sorry for podcast listeners. What kind of ice cream is it? Just so for everyone playing at home.
Yeah.
It's a Magnum that's half on the floor.
Oh, God. Let's move on. Okay. So other than Noah being pretty bad at opening an ice cream and dropping it on the floor, good work, buddy. Do you guys want to get into the NPL side with a bit of the old club update? Sick. I agree with that. Good work, guys. Now, on April 19, Western United NPL teams took on Doveton SC at Warrior Reserve. The under-21s had a banger with 3-2 winning, and the under-23s drew 1-1, which is pretty good. It's great to see these results coming out of the NPL sides. Do you have anything to comment on? Or
I think we're doing pretty well overall in both comps, aren't we?
Yeah. I don't have the thing up right now. I was ill prepared for that question. Thank you, Kelsey.
They're not coming dead last, are they?
No. I think they're pretty.
I didn't think so. So they're doing well.
Just give me a second. I can give you an update. You just talk amongst yourselves.
Let's just say they were first.
NPL 3 ladder, Western United is first.
There you go. See, Scotty leaks with the info.
Yeah, we're currently beating Melbourne City on goal difference.
Ooh, might be beating them in a few things this year.
Yeah. So, respect. Thank you for giving me the time to look that up. Now, there isn't much going on around the club either in club news, but I did want to take a moment to talk about the transfer market change to Australian football, which is going to be really amazing in my opinion. So what's happening is currently at all tiers, you cannot be reimbursed more than 50% of the player's current contract. So what was happening was there was no real reason for teams to have players on long-term contracts. Now, Scott, I believe we talked about this in the Service Crew group chat. And what's going to be really amazing is this is going to enable a new ecosystem of finance for a lot of clubs. And I think teams like CCM are going to do really well because they've put a lot of money and time into developing players. So I think that's going to be really good because they'll be able to sign players on a 5-year contract. They could have a bang up season and any other club could go, I want to buy them. It's helped to defines how much money they are worth. And it could make some money off it. Definitely going to be great. And it's also going to help finance that second division a lot of us are wanting because those like your South Melbournes, like Melbourne Knights, a lot of those really good Sydney Olympic, all those really good powerhouse teams have been around for a long time, well established, will be able to get properly compensated for training and getting these players up to that level. What do you guys think?
This is actually the first I've heard of it. So what is it? Based on the value of their contract on years remaining means you'd have to compensate. Are they compensating the remainder of that contract with a portion of it then getting funneled into the lower leagues? I actually missed this entire article.
Okay, cool. No, sorry, I didn't know you missed that. Well, that's long story short. They're going to be better compensated for youth development.
So we'll
And-
actually have some sort of variance of a transfer market in Australia.
Yeah,
Not
exactly.
You
It's-
can grab a
it's-
player when he's out of contract.
Yep. So, for instance, this could have probably helped in the Max Burgess situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it's going to be good. It's going to be also good to help fill out the financials for a lot of other clubs that don't have the same revenue streams of, say, a Melbourne City or a Sydney FC, who have a good pipeline of money, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, it also means like when we've released, like obviously we released players so they could go to other teams because, you know, Valentino Yule comes to mind, Cavallo. That means we probably could have actually gotten some sort of fee for them instead during transfer windows.
Exactly. There won't be as much mutual terminations. So I think this is going to be really good. That's my understanding of the article. Scott, do you have any thoughts on it?
It will be pretty interesting to see which club takes advantage of it first, like which club's going to start signing players on a long-term deal rather than the 2 or 3 year deals they get now.
Yeah.
Well, that's where you go.
So I was going to say, well, that's the thing. Like, it's good for both player and club because the players can get security of a long-term deal, you know, but then the club also gets the security of the long-term deal in that it will bring them money if, you know, should they want to leave during it. It gives both player and club something from this.
Because if you look at the A-League, a lot of the teams have 1 year deals, maybe 2. You seldom see, unless they're academy players, 3-4 year deals. They're done on a kind of we'll talk at the end of the season or midway season. So this puts a little bit more options in the tank for teams to sign young players and give young players minutes. So, and also it'll probably help their market value because it'll establish that domestically, which is one of the issues I think Australia has, is because we don't have a well-placed transfer market. Selling players overseas, there's no precedent for that player or an actual market value in this country. So I think that is going to be a big byproduct of that.
Well, just adding to that, the problem is you can't get a good value for any of the players because they're either expiring that year or the year after, most likely. So overseas clubs have a lot of power in that. I'm not saying it's going to like quadruple the value or anything, but it might add, some extra numbers to the transfer, at least if there's a longer term contract. Like we might actually get our first $1 billion player or some crap.
Yeah. So it's I think it's a small step, but it's a very needed step in creating a good football ecosystem leading to a second division and pro rel. Yeah. I just want to talk about it. I thought it was really good. I forgot to put it on the run sheet. Sorry, guys. Do you guys want to lead it into the game review?
Yeah, all right. I guess I'll take over versus our game against the Manure Bulls. See what I did there? You wrote something else. I converted it around.
You mean the bullshits?
Yeah, you wrote bullshit, so I just decided to call them the more PG Manure Bulls. Plus, they were manure. So, in spite of the short turnaround time, West United followed up the complete obliteration of Perth with a convincing 2-0 win over franchise rivals, the Manure Bulls. This took place in front of 1,569 people at UTAS Stadium and was a fair effort for a Tuesday night. It was also 15 more people than Perth's home game in Tassie on a weekend. Cough that again, Perth. Make that 7-0. So there are 2 main performances to take away from this game. 1, Payne's return to form. Payne had 7 shots on goal, 3 crosses, and 1 actual goal. And by gosh, did he run a fair bit. Can't believe you wrote the word gosh. We also saw his consistent linking up with not only Ben Grucho, but Lockie Wales, as well as really solidifying us up front. Did we underestimate his importance when he was injured in the off-season? During the season?
Scott?
I think it was well-needed rest that he had a few weeks ago. It's clearly shown that he's come back firing and ready to run again, which is probably what he was really dying for. So maybe it might be a sign for a few other players in the future. Give them a week off. More of the consistent players, give them a week off, let them refresh, get back to it. But it was really good to see him back to his original form.
Well, it's good to see him recover from that injury and in such a quick time, because since a number of crucial players kind of dropped out of our starting 11. We had Diamante, we've had Risdon, and we've had Connor Payne. And the main ones we talked about was Risdon. We talked about Diamante in a creative capacity. We didn't really talk about Payne that much. I believe Caleb did. So shout out Caleb. He's a big fan of Connor Payne, and that's founded. These last 2 games, he's been so integral to our attacking prowess, if you will. Yeah, I'm a big fan of what he's putting out there. Hopefully he can keep it up.
Yeah, I reckon he's really shored up that helped to shore up the left side of the pitch for us, both in an attacking and defensive setup.
Yeah.
And then the second one, sorry?
I was going to say the good thing is we are looking like we will get a week off. So an extra week rest for Payne and a few of the other players might bring him into really good form leading into the finals.
Yeah, would be good, especially as we got 3 games in a week for the final 3 games, I believe.
Yeah, it's a very tight span. I think it's like a Saturday, a Wednesday, and a Saturday again, ending the Kentucky tour in Adelaide. Quite nice.
I thought it was Wednesday.
It's 2 weekend games and a midweek game from memory. Happy to be wrong.
Yeah. No, I believe it's Central Coast, Jets, then, going in a time
Adelaide.
machine back to the year 2012.
I think that's about right.
Yeah, no, it is right. And then, so anything else you want to add about Connor Payne?
No,
Scott?
you've nailed it all.
Well, then we'll move on to the second takeaway from this. Jamie Young. He does have now. Jamie Young, according to this, does have his shortcomings, even though he's taller than 3 members of this pod. I'm not one of them, and neither is Leb. Just putting that out there, which have been exploited this season. But when the man is having a good game, he single-handedly keeps us within the game. He had 6 solid saves from within the box, with 10 clean sheets this season, and an average save per match rate of 3.57 saves. MacArthur did all they could to bash down the door, but between a solid defensive display, this was another great game from him. What did you guys think of his performance?
Look, if I didn't have my little bet on Young, I probably would have given him 3 votes this week either way. He was, he was very good. He did some amazing stops and really did save our asses.
Yeah, I think he has his lapses in form, but that goes with any player. He's a great shot stopper, and when he's in the zone, he's doing it. Like, how many good saves? There was that really nice one just above his head, and he just got a little hand to it. You know what I mean? I'm a big fan. I think we've had fair criticism this season of his performance. Some unfair, looking at you, Scott. But he's genuinely been a game changer for us this season, and he likes medal as well. So he's got 3 votes from me for every week. I know. No, I'm a big fan of what he's been doing.
He's having a great season, and that's why he's up there in the Player of the Year votes. And I'll dare say the club will have him up there at the end of the year as well, somewhere. Yeah. Now, a thing to help us tip it in our favour. So already 1-0 up, and then in the 69th minute, Mariappa. Yeah, Mariappa. I don't know. Scored got himself a nice red card. What did we think about that little incident?
I'll jump in if that's okay. He'd been a bit rough all night, and I believe it was a bit of a tackly thing. Like, it was unwarranted, and I think he was frustrated and kind of overreacted. It was great for us. I was hoping again that we'd lay them to the sword. Like, I'm talking like seppuku, like in a Yakuza film where they like gut themselves. But no, I think it was great for us, bad for them, and really just showed their frustration and them trying to get those points to stay in the top 6 for finals.
Yeah. Do you know anything to add, Scott?
Oh, I completely forgot about the red card. I'm struggling to remember the game, to be honest. I think I remember the very last goal.
Oh, yeah, we'll get to that shortly.
Let's get right into that, shall we? So, MacArthur, in what was a bold strategy, went the NHL empty net and threw the keeper down for like the last 3 corners of the game. Obviously, this would lead to an iconic moment with Prijovic securing possession of the ball, running gracefully down the pitch and just booting it into the back of the net. with the way to cap off the beautiful Tassie trip of 8 goals. Do you think this is a smart gamble by them to try to secure the draw with that late being a man down?
Absolutely. They were getting corner after corner down their end. Look, in MacArthur's shoes, they're playing to play finals. And what's the point of having your keepers, having a player be wasted down there if the ball's down the other end and you're within a small chance of winning? I'd take a 5% chance of drawing the game with the goalie down there than losing it 2-0. So I think it was good play, and I'd do the exact same thing MacArthur did. Losing 2-0, losing 1-0, either way it's a loss for them and it's not good. So they took a gamble and it didn't pay off, unfortunately.
I agree. It was you got to hedge your bet sometimes, and it was a safe bet. What's the difference of losing 2 goals versus 1? And the succession of corners that they had 3 in a row, they were in with a definite chance, and Craig Noon was gassed running from side to side to do it, which was pretty funny. But yeah, they really tried to get those goals at that point, and during the game they had some amazing runs, and MacArthur are a solid team on paper and on the pitch, and they have their ups and downs, but they are a solid team. And De Vere is amazing to watch. I'm glad he's in the league. Curto, he had a great game as well. Miss him, but I don't. A little bit, if you know what I mean. I think Young's the better keeper, but Curto's still an amazing keeper, and he had a good innings that day, despite conceding 2. One when he wasn't actually near the net. But Prijovic, wow. I was going to say he looked like a gazelle, but I did in the text, but I didn't think you'd pull it off as well as I would have.
I would have read gazelle. I reckon that's what he looked like when I watched the replay of the goal.
Yeah, I was just like, oh. And remember earlier in the season, this is not to have a go at Dylan Wenzel-Halls, when he had the similar opportunity. I can't remember which team it was on against, and had a similar opportunity in empty net, and he didn't have he didn't finish it. It is what it is. But the power that he has in those legs just to belt one out that far from it, well played. And it was just a great way to seal a Tassie trip. Yeah, I was very happy with this game.
Any final thoughts on that part, Scott?
No, I'll pretty much.
All I'll say is I think you actually summed it up pretty well. Better to take the dice, roll the dice, and try and go for the 1-1 draw than to do nothing and be guaranteed either a 1-0 loss. Better to go down swinging, especially when you are fighting for points in finals and positioning on the table within those finals. That point could have been the difference between them finishing, getting at least one home final as opposed to playing away in the first week and just getting eliminated.
Exactly.
So
if we were in the same shoes, I'd want the exact same thing. If Young doesn't go down to our end, the other end, and try and score, even now where we're sitting, if it's coming to the final 2 games and we're down 1-0, I'd want a draw, and I'd do absolutely anything possible to get that draw. And Young would be the first person I'd call down within the last minute if the ball's, within the last couple minutes if the ball's down that end.
Yeah. The other thing too it did with the red card is it helped them trying to even up the numbers in the box. It managed to, help neutralise numbers and try and give them a chance at, getting that draw as well. So I applaud their effort. I like a team that tries to do everything in their power to win and isn't afraid to cop an extra goal against them in the vein of trying to securing some points.
Yeah, 100% agree.
He did a good play, and the coach did a fantastic play, and lost because of it. Lost. I'm pretty sure. Didn't he get sacked?
Did he?
Sajic?
Didn't. Oh.
You might want to follow these up, but I'm pretty sure he stood down today. I could be wrong. I read an article, something along those lines, probably about half an hour to an hour ago.
This morning he departs.
Stood down.
Wow,
Scotty.
Scotty Leak's on fire today. Jeez, I thought you guys
Fingers on the pulse.
Scott, you are back in charge, mate. You're back on the
I'm half
podcast. You're
asleep.
dropping facts. What is going on here, man? You're like, have you been doing prep work in the off season or something? What's going on here?
Man, I've forgotten half the game. What are you talking about?
Can I just be honest here? We should just step back. We'll just ask the questions because Scott's got his finger on the pulse. He has all the answers today.
Hey guys,
So
on
let's
that
just leave it
note-
at that before I screw it up.
So he has in his games as head coach for MacArthur Bulls, he'd played 50 games. They've coached 50 games, 20 wins, 20 losses, 10 draws. It's not bad.
It seems like it was something with the management because he stood down, he wasn't sacked. So
Yeah.
obviously something he wasn't happy with led him to no choice but to leave.
So it's an official win rate of 40%. It's not, great, but it's still not, considering it was a franchise team, it's not bad in those first couple of years
Nah, that's what I mean.
where you're
Like,
establishing the DNA.
yeah, I was a bit surprised by that. Like, John Eloise is what's he
Mate.
at now? Oh,
What's the
John
point
Eloise
now
is
that-
we got a 56.52% win rate.
Which is a great win rate for a club.
Yeah, I was just having a quick look now. Yeah, that's a bit savage. I feel bad for him though. Assistant Ivan Jolik, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is likely to be stepping in, I think, and they've been linked with Mark Rudan and coach. This is prior to this, Ufuk Talay. Talay is a good one. I find, and this is coming from us we did like poach a lot of people from, sorry, something just fell. A lot of people from Wellington and other clubs in our first couple of years. But that's kind of, I feel like Ufi is really solidified in Wellington. I don't know about you guys. I think that's,
I still find it strange that a coach has stood down because they're in a finals position, aren't they?
yeah. That's
Mate,
why-
So I don't
apparently-
understand why a coach would be standing down in the middle. That's very strange.
They did get pantsed on
Management, I'd
Friday.
say. Something to do with the management and the
Oh,
club,
sorry,
I would say.
they've slipped to seventh. They've slipped to
Oh,
seventh.
okay, so maybe they're worried, or I don't know. That's just very strange.
9
We
wins.
would have
I
thought
have
further.
I have lots of issues within MacArthur. There seems to be a lot of issues going down with between the owner, club management, all the club people.
I think some of it, like us, is everyone externally from those are very negative about it. And granted, there are a lot of problems with like MacArthur, genuine like ticket pricing and stuff like that, especially for away fans. Yeah. So we'll see how it is. Thank you for
Any
letting me know
final
about
thoughts?
this. Got the win. Yeah.
Scott?
Player of the year.
Yeah, we got Stajic sacked basically.
Nah, Victory did that on Friday. They played
Oh,
Victory
they-
on
yeah.
Friday night, and it was like 4-0 or 4-1. I'll double check
Oh, I
that.
thought they'd go- oh, yeah.
No, they
yeah.
had 2 games in a week, and they
Look.
got fully pants by Victory.
My
We
final
started.
thoughts are: we had to get the 6 points in Tassie. We got the 6 points, and we got 8 goals with
That's
0 conceded.
10 clean sheets. I'm pretty impressed by that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to move on to Player of the Year?
Yeah, let's do it.
May I take the reins, Kelsey?
Yeah, by all means, you may have them back.
Thank you, Scott. Have you changed your one vote to someone else, or did you sent?
Did I send a one vote?
You sent 2 lots.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. Did you want 1 vote to Leo or 1 vote to MI?
Leo. Did I say Imo? Did I? I don't think
Yeah,
I
and
did.
Yeah, you
one,
did.
I think you're on
Yeah,
the beers
I'm-
that night, man.
Oh, did I send it straight after the game?
Yeah, that's why I was confused.
Oh, yes, I'll stick with that one because that was straight after the game.
Goodbye, MIs only. Oh, you want to keep that? Okay, cool. Sweet. Now
Yeah,
let's
keep 'em
get
on.
back into it. So everyone tipped Jamie Young for 3 points. It was a really good performance, number of shots and goals, and he made the difference. Everyone gave 2 points to Connor Payne. Again, very big game, great performance. Kelsey and Leb gave 1 point each to Kilkenny. Jay and I both gave 1 point to Prijovic, and Scott gave 1 point to Amai, who I think he's been really doing well in that right back role in absence of Risdon. Just we hadn't spoke about it this game.
Mm.
And do you guys want to know who's currently winning?
I'd say it's got to be Jamie Young now.
Yeah. So he's currently winning on 90 points. Scott, if we get to give him a trophy in person, I think you should do it. Coming second on 77 points is Stephen Lustica. Third is Leo Lacroix on 72 points. Coming fourth is Alexander Prijovic on 63. Coming fifth is Josh Risdon on 57. And noting he hasn't had a game in ages. Lockie Wales is coming sixth on 53. Ben Garuccio and Connor Payne tied at seventh place on 49. Topper Stanley coming ninth. Eighth, ninth. On 43. Neil Kilkenny coming 10th on 38.
Can I just say, in a way, like I have to say thank you to Scott, because if like Scott hadn't have like dogged Young on some votes early in the season, he'd be winning by a fair margin at the minute. I mean, it wouldn't even be close.
Yeah.
At least
Making
it's only
it
13 points thanks to Scott.
I'll make it even.
You like Robin Hood, but for points for Jamie Young. You're keeping the other people, everyone honest. But so it's very interesting. Do you know how many points we've given Diamante this season?
0.
No, more than that, because I've at least given him 1.
5.
5.
So that's quite interesting. Ryan Scott has 1 point, and that was from you, Scott.
That was from the game. He should have been there.
Round 17, I believe. But yeah, we'll move on from it. Great to see. We'll see who wins the toilet seat. But I think it's kind of obvious who's going to win it now. Now, do you guys want to get into the game preview?
Yes.
Now, with 2 wins in the tank, Western United keep the train moving to Gosford to take on CCM, who have been in fine form and position 6 with goals coming freely. Shout out to the Cum Dog. That F3 derby was,
Dodgy.
yeah, that's it's. But that's what you want from a game. You want it to be heated and passion and dodgy refereeing. Newcastle, it's what Newcastle likes.
You want a derby game to have some sort of rivalry in there.
Yeah, I think that that to me feels like a genuine rivalry. But yeah, of the last 7 fixtures, Western United have 3 wins, 3 losses, and a recent draw in the Rat which was quite good. Cum Dog was having a good day that day. Of the last 3 games, CCM have scored at least 2 goals, with 2 of them sinking 4 against Wally and the Jets. And if you go back further, they've got 5s. They are a free scoring team and quite dangerous. This is going to be a real test for our defense and Jamie Young. So it's going to be this could be a real high scoring game. Depends how we line up for the day. Do we have that many goals in us? Is another big question. Yeah, CCM are peaking late in the season, which is good for them. Dangerous to us. What do you think we're going to line up in a starting 11 perspective?
Do you want to go first, Scott?
Yeah, well, I would have to say there'd be no changes unless Diamante is back, and I don't think he is. But I can't see why you'd change it. The players would be well rested. They've had almost a week off. So I can't see why they would change the side.
Yeah. And just to add to that, I don't think Aloisi has not been one to make change for the sake of it. He's done it when it's been required. If there's any changes at most, it'll be 1 top maximum of 2 changes. I see him pushing the strongest 11 he can for the last 3 games in the aim of getting that week off before the finals to keep them all fresh.
There is one change that I would like to see. I want to see Theo on the bench. I reckon he's got that spark, the energy, the excitement. If we are down and we do need a boost, he is the player to make some real dangerous pushes and attacking moves. And I want to see more of Theo on at least the bench.
Whose bench spot does he take, though? Like, looking at our bench from the last game, we got Ryan Scott, Jerry Skatardis, who's been decent in his recent games for us, especially as we don't have a lot of depth in midfield when we had Kilkenny and Deer unavailable. We have Bayou, Dylan Wenzel-Halls, Milanovic, Parias, and Collins. Who'd we drop on the bench for Theo Harris? We are stacked with forwards.
To be honest, anyone. Theo can bring that other type of game that none of the other players can bring. They can bring decent in their positions, but if you're looking at an attacking sense, Theo is probably one of the most dangerous people that I've seen coming from a bench in the few games that we've seen him. I think he's even given a couple of assists. I don't think he's scored one, but I know he's got a couple of assists from his pace and power. Now, why wouldn't you stick that on the bench if you are, if you're 1-0 down and needing that real dangerous attack? To be honest, I'd rather watch someone like Theo than Parias coming off the bench, because Parias, as good as he can be, Theo brings that the quick pace, the quick moves, the trickery, and something that can really put off defenses.
Interesting. I like that idea. I don't think we've seen enough of Theo in the A-League team. He featured a lot in the NPL 3 seniors, but he hasn't been able to transition that into A-League time, which is interesting. But he was a late signing to the club.
He has had a few games in the A-League, and he has gotten
I'm just saying this season. Yeah, but he hasn't crossed over to like much A-League time, is what I'm saying. Like Eloise, he tends to be preferring a lot of Bayou for one. What's his face? Dylan Wenzel-Halls, Parias. They've all getting that game time. Is that from? Are they training better? Are they performing better within the structure of the team?
I understand his game plan a little different, is what you're trying to say.
Yeah, like I'm not saying he's doing that. I'm just saying if there'd be a method to the madness there. I'm not saying it's mad, but you know what I mean. There's a reason behind it. There must be something there.
I do like the thinking outside the box. Sorry, Scott. Just before you go, I just want to say I do like the thinking outside the box. You're not looking necessarily at changes to the starting 11. You're looking at changes for what could make a difference if we had to make a sub to the starting 100%. 11. So I like that you're coming up with something different there.
With this time where it's becoming really crucial, we can't afford to lose. We can't afford to draw. You stick someone like Theo on with these trickery and all that, people don't know too much of him. Some of the defenders towards the end of the game are getting a bit slower. And with his speed, his technique, the way he plays, he will really put off defenders because they wouldn't know too much to how to defend on a player in his ability.
Interesting. No, hopefully he gets a good go. We've got finals coming. Hopefully he gets a decent shot. I think Parias hasn't been as free-flowing with goals this season, especially earlier when we had Lockie Wales in that midfield role. If I had a pick of someone random who I'd love to see back in the squad, I'd love to see Seb Pasquale before finals. Get a little bit of game time. See how he's going.
In saying that, if, say, he and Diamante are good before finals, which two players do? Because you've already said, as you point out, that bench is stacked. Who comes out? That's
the problem. And we're winning. We're doing pretty well with what we have. And especially having Lustica in midfield in the middle role as opposed to, I think with Wales going forward again, I think Wales is crucial to our forward line. I think we're performing better. But again, Kilkenny's available. Yeah, who do you drop? It's a bit of a conundrum. I'm glad.
Skatardis could get dropped.
It's a very good problem to have, though. Like, it's a brilliant problem to have this late in the season.
Sure Milo and Skatardis are both the Diamante and
well, I could be wrong.
Pasquale's replacement.
With Scatardis, I'm fairly certain he's been on the bench most, if not all of the most of the season. I
He's-
could be wrong.
He has been because
Guy's
we've got
been
such.
injured for most
Yeah,
of
well,
pretty much the whole season, hasn't
Yeah, but I'm still.
Yeah.
I just meant that even when Diamante was in, I'm pretty sure he was one of the bench options. I could be wrong, but I'm fairly certain he's been a mainstay of that bench.
he? Milo's Diamante's replacement. They play the similar role.
Milo's more of a striker.
Yeah, he's more of an attacking mid slash striker.
Yeah.
But if you remember, whenever we did sub Diamante back earlier, and Milo was on the bench, Milo was the replacement for Diamante every time.
I think that's because the game plan changes. We have like a Diamante game plan for him to feed forward. Like our positioning changes. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know. Like, you know, when you're talking about like I'm interested to see what happens. Like our like defensive stock isn't huge. We've got, and I'm not negating Collins here. We don't have any with Imai being on the right back. We don't have any centre backs in the event of a yellow card or red cards. So we haven't got much depth there.
No, we're flirting with some danger potentially defensively, but offensively, we've got
packed.
almost an embarrassment of riches.
That's my point.
And based on the history of John Aloisi, he's not going to tinker for the sake of it. He's just going to make 1-2 changes, and if it's 2, it's because it's forced. If it's 1, it's probably just because he thinks one person's better in that spot.
It's interesting.
Hey,
I hope to see.
I would not hate to see if we did get an injury or red card. I wouldn't hate to see Collins come on.
Same.
I've seen him before. I know he can do it.
That's not
Actually, dominated those games.
Yeah, I hope to see him. I was more so stating that we don't have as opposed to like our midfield, our forward line, we've got 3 to 4 guys we could swap out into those couple of sub spots. Whereas defensively, we don't have that. Midfield.
I think what he's saying, like, say hypothetically someone pulls up a hammy and then we get enough accumulation of yellow cards, so we've got 2 defenders out. We got Collins as 1, and then outside of that, given the injuries in the current state of the squad, there's nothing else really there.
We've got Do as well from the MPL 3 side, but he hasn't had that many minutes at A-League level. So, like, that we do have reserves. That's the great thing of having an academy, but there are
are they ready?
As the squads are quite limited size wise and from the cap.
All they do is stick MI back and someone like Parias is the.
Who was it that went back? Remember the
right back,
victory game?
Didn't Payne start back there?
No, it was he was injured through that victory game. Who was it that went back?
Crin played centre back.
Crin, that's it.
Yeah. But then our midfield's getting bossed.
But then
I'm just saying, like, our we've got so many forwards and such an attacking prowess for a we play such a defensive counter-attacking game. It's from a staffing perspective or recruiting perspective, it's a bit weird. But we should probably get going to a scoreline. Just a great convo there, guys. I got lost in it for a few minutes. Great point, Scott. Kelsey, did you have any points you'd like to add? I don't think you did.
No. I think Scott's actual initial point just sparked a really good conversation there, and I think we've covered a lot there.
Yeah. Good to have you back, Scott.
I'm tired.
Me too, big fella. But moving on, what do you guys think the scoreline's going to be?
Scott, do you want to go first?
I'm going negative again because it seemed to work last time. I think Central Coast are on fire at the moment. I just got a feeling that we just can't see us holding on to the plate. I just feel like we're going to drop one soon, whether it's a draw or a loss. I feel like Central Coast are on fire at the moment, and yeah, they've got nothing to lose. They just keep going as hard at it as possible. And like I said last week against Bulls, but Bulls went shit. But Central Coast, yeah, they don't have ups. They're not having ups and downs like Bulls did. They're just got it on and up at the moment, and I just feel like they might get an edge over us.
Yeah.
By what margin?
2-0. 2-0.
Oh.
All right. I've been thinking long and hard about this game. I just remember going back to Ballarat, the draw, they matched up on us really well, like player for player. I just remember that from the game. I have a feeling it'll go a similar way. I actually feel like this will be a draw, and I'm going to go 2-2.
Interesting. I think this is going to be a goal-a-palooza. It's going to be our goal at like our big scoring game, 4-3. Us, and I'm going to tip the boys.
Nice. Look, I hope it's a 4-0 for us. I really do. I just got a funny feeling that there could be a late equaliser for one of the teams here, like late.
Quite possible.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. If we draw one game, we're still equal first, aren't we?
Well, we'll have a look at that when we get to the table.
We're on 23 games played.
City will be up on percentage.
Goal difference.
I'll have the A-League ladder up in a second. So if you guys see that?
It's just coming up now. Okay.
Yep.
Is there any way to expand it?
What are you guys seeing? Okay, cool. That better?
Thanks. Yeah. That's a lot better. Thank you. So what are they on? They're on
24 played, 13 wins, 53 goals scored, 30 against. 46
How many points overall? 46. We're 44, aren't we?
Yeah. So we're 2 points behind.
So a draw would put us 1 point behind.
Yeah.
Which would put it. Basically, we would have to wait. Then they'd have to drop one of the final two, or drop points there for us to have a chance.
So we can't even afford to draw. Yeah.
It's win out from here. Because who are City's last two games? Does anyone know?
Just give me a second. A lot of questions without notice. Thank you.
They played Wellington They played Perth and Wellington. I'm pretty
Glory and Wellington.
Yeah, so you got to think they're not dropping Perth. Let's just be honest right there. Where's Wellington?
Amy Park.
Wellington is the closest. But they are missing a few players, aren't they?
Berenger. I always struggle with his name. And O'Neill's also done. So that's their like defensively midfield. Like they've on that same note, they do have a lot of good options. They've got one at like Great Academy and such.
Is there an international week coming up soon? By any chance?
Well, they're currently doing ACL, so they've played a number of games. I think it's like 3 in the last week and a half. They drew last night, I believe. So they've got that going on in the background. So whether or not that fatigue.
Are both games at Amy, or is it one in Perth, one in Amy?
The one is at HBF Park in Perth. So they're traveling to Perth, but they've also
that's a long bit of travel from Asia to Perth.
That's actually better than flying to Melbourne.
That shouldn't affect them.
Like that's a bit of travel in that last week. So who knows? Maybe, but I can't see them losing to Perth or dropping any points. In fact, I can't see Glory getting within 4 of them.
Well, Sturridge is rumored to be back for the last couple of home games.
Wants to collect a paycheck before he leaves.
I think he owes the team pro rata for the next season for games not played.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he owes his barber some money. That's about all he's done since being here.
That's probably I genuinely feel bad for Perth after having they've invested so heavily in getting a big name there. That and the COVID lockout laws that could financially bankrupt that club, and they've been they're one of the oldest clubs in our league.
Well, they're the original old National
NSL.
Soccer League that they're the original they're the only original club that kept their identity.
Jets to some degree because they're like an amalgamation of a couple clubs in the area, from my understanding.
But I'm talking about pure history, lineage. It's
bad 90s Windows logos. I get you.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's a tight race, and I'm glad that we're involved in the race this year as opposed to previous years. I'd like to get it from City. But side note, top 3 teams, all Victorian, which is quite interesting considering the majority of the competition is based out in New South Wales.
They'll fix that up next year. There'll be some sort of measures put in place to ensure that there is a all Sydney final series next year.
There's going to be snipers out.
Like even though there's only 5 teams, somehow there'll be 6 New South Wales teams in the finals next year.
It's a bit silly, isn't it? Do you guys want to get into the tipping comp? Or any final comments on the game or anything?
I really hope we win, but Central Coast are playing some good football at the moment.
Yeah, 100%. Scott?
No, I'll be back. I just got to do something quickly, but I'm still on the headphone.
That's cool. Carry on. We might get into the tipping comp. Girls, is that okay?
Yep, I'm assuming Methodical Flamethrower is still coming first.
How did you guess? Currently winning on 71 points. Coming second on 67 is Woodster 99. Coming third is Sherlock Machine on 66. You're not getting any prizes on for third, buddy.
Mate, I was going to say, he needs to get up 8 points in a week. Not going to happen.
A-Trax is coming fourth on 64. Jeff FFS is coming 5th on 63. I'm coming 6th on 62. I'm making finals. Harris Mania 7th. Megan BD is coming 8th. Lebby's coming 10th. Shout out Irish Tony coming 9th. Brookie is coming 12th on 43. The Joker is coming 16th on 37 points. Heinzie coming 20th on tied 19th on 35. And Gerald coming 26th. Good work, buddy. But yeah. Oh, sorry to see you, Scott. How you going?
Good.
Do you guys have anything for around the grounds?
I was going to say, Scott come up with the Scotty leak earlier in the day for around the ground.
He's had a big day. Can I start with a couple of things? And if you guys just have a think about it. So the Daily Record reports Keanu Bacchus has signed a 2-year pre-contract deal to move this summer to Scottish Premier League club St Mirren. Did I say that right?
St Mirren.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Is formerly the home of Socceroos midfielder Aaron Moy as well. And they're locked in a relegation battle.
Yes, they are. It'd be good for him. Like, it seems to be a logical move for a lot of Australian players to go to the Scottish League.
I think because Australia has a lot of connections to Scotland. A, B, it's also like it's a good entry level kind of league into Europe.
Yeah, it's a nice. It's like it's not a huge gap between the two leagues.
Yeah, exactly. His brother Kieran, just as a thing, is currently playing for the Kaiser Chiefs. I thought they were a band.
No, they're also a full club.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Do they have like a? They'd obviously have disputes with them, wouldn't they? What country?
I should know this.
Are they a South African team? Yeah, they're in South Africa.
Yeah,
shout out. I didn't know that was a football team. I just thought it was like an electro rock band. I learned something new today. Have you guys got anything for around the grounds?
Not from me.
No.
Okay,
no last minute huge news, Scott. You sure? Like you've been busting out some good ones. Sure, you can't just find one more for us.
What's that? Sorry, the dog.
I was going to say, could you just find like one more last bit of breaking news? Anything else left in the well?
This one's very hidden, so we can't really leak it. But Western United winning the Blake.
There you go. Heard it here first.
What a crazy one. What do you guys think of all the international teams coming to play in Australia over the next 6 to 12 months? We have like that international friendly in Victoria. I forget who it is. And there's also
so
Crystal
Argentina,
Palace.
Brazil. Then you have Man United Victory, Man United Crystal Palace, and you have Barcelona in the A-League All-Stars. featuring no teams that'll be in the grand final.
Yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that over pollinating the market here, or do you think it's going to bring a lot of new eyes to the local market?
Look, I always think it's.
You go.
I was gonna say, look, I don't have any problem with them coming. It helps them with their brand recognition. It helps draw interest for Australians to go look at the game, and then they go. Hopefully, you get one or two who go, right, maybe I'll give the A-League a try. Look, I don't mind it. What about you, Scott?
It's always good to see big clubs coming over and playing here in Australia or Victoria. It gets more people involved with the soccer community and looking, and you might gain one or two more people that are interested in seeing some more local football. So, look, it's only a positive thing. But you can't go wrong with that. But also, I don't know if you guys are aware. I just thought of it now. Thanks, Ron. There is also rumours of Leeds or Villa coming down to play in Australia as well. I think Leeds are leading the race, but it could be Aston Villa as well.
Well,
one of those two
Leeds
teams
do have
a
solid Australian base from the years of when Kuhl and Viduka were there back in the day.
Yeah, they had a lot of Australian players have spent time there, and I think that's why they've got such a solid that local fan base, which is good. Like, I literally saw a Leeds top from like the early 90s, could have been counterfeit, at the Warrnambool Trash and Treasure Market.
And also, if you do remember, at the start of Western United, Lou did mention that he would have liked to bring Leeds down.
But he
That's right. It was his one regret.
So he actually might have succeeded this time by bringing him down and versing, I'm not sure who.
Hopefully us. I just want to see Ricky's brain explode. Who do I support? He also spoke a lot about Celtic. Yeah.
Sorry.
But he also spoke a lot about Celtic. So it's going to be interesting. I think it's good. I think it's like when more prominent music, like bands and whatnot, tour Australia and they get an Australian artist on the bill. Like Amyl and the Sniffers supported Foo Fighters recently in Geelong and stuff, and I've heard a lot of people talking about them now because of that. Same with death metal. Whenever they get a support slot, it's good for the old CV. But I can only see positives about it, provided it links back to our national league. Yeah.
Look, it gives them exposure against players from a quality. Like, don't forget, like all European clubs, they've got years and years of pedigree there, training, things that we just don't have development yet. It gives them a chance to experience it firsthand, even if it is just their academy kids.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Regardless, it's also good. Like, look at people like Seb Pasquale, who had a stint overseas because of it. It's a great game for our youth, provided they're played, to be exposed to a larger market, because obviously that'll get picked up overseas.
But if you do remember, Kelsey, you'll probably remember it, but when Liverpool were down, how much of a talking point around the world were Liverpool because of the amount of support they had. That one of the, I could be wrong, but if not the biggest crowd Liverpool have ever had, being about...
Well, yeah, it was
99, 95.
And it was the biggest, it was 96,000, and it was the biggest MCG crowd that wasn't a major final or grand final in the Australian code at the time. And then, as you said, it did make international headlines because of the when they sang "You'll Never Walk Alone."
Yeah.
Yeah, that's insane. 95,000 they had at least at the G. Just looking at a fan video for it.
It was close to like 96, I'm pretty sure. I think it was like, was it 95, 6 something?
I googled it quickly. I didn't do an intensive check. So, but if we had two other people on the podcast today, they would have had a lead. Can you believe we spoke about Liverpool like consciously on the podcast?
Welcome back to All Out Anfield, apparently.
Do you guys have anything else to follow on with that?
No,
I'm good.
I'm good.
That's cool. Any cards?
No, I'm pretty good at the moment.
I can't be bothered hating on things. I just want to see the Premiers play.
Yeah, me too. I'm loving this season. There's been lots of ups, a few downs, but I'm excited to see where the club's going and how it's performing really well under Aloisi with solid recruitment. So let's just leave it there for this week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, review, and all that jazz. Send us a message. Say something silly about us on an iTunes review. I don't care. So, yeah, hope you enjoy All West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we?
All West, aren't we?